Hello everybody, this is Cheri at djsundry.blogspot.com, and I am getting ready to make a folder for my passport size traveler's notebook. And so I've done a lot of the prep work, not quite all of it, but I wanted to show you how I'm going to make my little template for my little inside flap, and I'll explain that a little bit more later. But basically my inside flap currently is 2.5 inches wide by 5.25 inches tall, but I want to cut it on the side. Now this is just a heavy piece of card that I have. And it was just, I had an order from Simon Says Stamp, and this is the discount card with the coupon code that they sometimes leave, but it's super heavy, and I was just looking for a scrap to make this, so I grabbed this and I cut it down to the size of my flap. And I like that this is such a heavy card because I think that I will, if this folder works the way I think that it will, I will probably make these to match whatever my inserts are. So I will use this. I will keep it with my planner stuff. So again, as I said, it's 2.5 inches wide by 5.25 inches tall. And I've taken and I've put a mark on one side at 2 inches. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that up onto my cutter. I'm going to line this top tip right at the groove, and then I'm going to line that 2-inch mark at the bottom of the groove. Make sure that I've got a good line there, and then I'm going to cut that off. Now I'm just going to go off camera and see, you know, and this was, again, I'm making the template, and I think what I'm going to do is I think I want it even a little bit more off, so that took off 2 inches. So now that I've done that, I'm going to take my little ruler here, and I think I am going to go down, let me think about that. You know, I think I'm going to leave it just like that. Okay, so, and that will be my template, and we will learn more about that in a minute. So what have I done? Well, the first thing I've done is I've taken a piece of scrapbook paper. In this case, I have used a piece of the Oh Dear paper from Close to My Heart, and I have cut it 6 inches wide by 6 inches, or I've cut the whole width, the whole 12-inch of the paper straight across at 5.75 inches. So basically, if you put this piece on top of this piece, you have a full sheet of scrapbooking paper. So to start with, that's what I did. I cut off a strip that's the full width. So this is 12 inches, and this is 5.75 inches tall. Okay. So now what I've done is I have scored right down the middle at 6 inches. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to really press that down well so I have a nice sharp crease. Okay, then I have come in as well, and I have another score line here, and that is at 2.5 inches. Remember our little template here? That's what it is. It's at 2.5 inches from that side and 2.5 inches from this side. So just like that. Okay, now what I have done after that is I have scored a 1/2 inch all the way across the bottom. And I know you can't see this, but it'll make sense. And then if you look at this side, what I've done is I've cut it, and that's what I'm going to do on this side. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to cut off that little 1/2 inch piece, but only to the first crease so that it goes to my, these are my flaps that are going to go over like that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this score line that I did here, and I'm going to fold it right on the score line. I'm going to crease it down tight just like that. Okay, and now that is where our template comes in. So I'm going to grab my template from over here. I'm going to line that up just like so, and I'm going to use actually a pencil to actually draw that line. Now I have to tell you that I thought I could do this without a template, and I had this in my head exactly how I was going to do it. And by the way, as I'm talking, I'm going to flip that over the opposite direction because you want the lower point to be on the inside, if that makes sense. And I'll show you, you know the old adage, measure twice, cut once? Well, I did not do that. And this is the third piece of paper that I've done. So be sure and follow that adage. Now I'm just going to take my scissors, and I could use my paper trimmer to do this, but I feel like in this particular case I probably have a little bit more control, especially as late as it is and as tired as I am. I think I'm less likely to make a mistake. So this is what our stuff looks like. Doesn't look like much, but now the magic will happen and we will put this together. So now I'm going to fold all of those in just like I had, and I am going to fold this up. Now before I do that, I am going to go ahead and cut one more place. I'm going to cut the center score up there so that I handle each of these separately. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down at the edge, that 2.5, and cut off a little bit more. And I'm going to do that on both sides, so that this part is only covering my flap. The reason I'm doing this is making the flaps, and you could use less paper and take less time if you didn't make the flaps, and you could just glue these down just like this, but I don't want it, oops, I'm sorry, that was off camera. So the reason I'm doing this is I want these to be folded up so that I adhere to that. If you didn't want to do these flaps, you could just run some adhesive at the bottom, say right here, and put that down. But then what you stick in there inside may end up getting stuck. And so like if you put a worksheet or stickers or whatever, it would possibly stick to the bottom of that adhesive, and I didn't want that, so that's why I'm taking these extra steps. Okay, so basically we're just talking about folding paper and adhering stuff down. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run actually a couple of lines, if my ATG gun and I get along, of ATG. Every once in a while, when I'm buying these off-brand ATG cartridges, I get one that is stubborn, or maybe it feels like that it's just a tad bit narrower and it doesn't like to stick, so that's why I'm having so much trouble with my ATG gun. Do that there. Same thing on this side, and I'm putting plenty of adhesive because I don't want stuff falling out of the bottom. Okay, so fold this over, fold this up, smooth it out, and we have a flap, and we're almost done. Not quite, but almost. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close it, and I'm just going to go back over my creases, making sure everything's laying flat like so. And then I am going to, I see that I didn't get a clean trim here, so I'm going to trim that off. Okay, now I'm going to do one more step on this. This is, bear in mind, this is cardstock, but it's not super heavy, so I'm not going to want to put anything really heavy in it, but for seasonal use, and I'm making this kind of match the Christmas season that's coming up, it will be just fine. But if you're wanting something that you're going to be moving things a lot in and out, you're going to probably want something a little bit heavier. So now I'm just going to make a little notch at the bottom and another little notch at the top. And the reason I'm doing that is when I open it, that will allow my strings to rest in those grooves a little bit and be less likely to tear that. We'll see. Okay, so now that's all put together. So what shall we do to decorate? Well, I have some of these compliments from Close to My Heart that go with the Oh Dear pack, and I just want to add some of that to the front. We want a deer. I think I want a little color on it. What about this guy right here? Kind of like that. There's, oh, you know what I think I want? There is, should be in here somewhere, a silver bow there. That's what I want. So I will just adhere that down. And I am going to get out some glue and do that. So I'm going to go off camera. When I come back, I will have my notebook all set up and ready to start using, and I will flip you through that. Thanks so much. Okay, so I am back and I have my little Foxy all set up for now. There is lots of room for far more stuff than what I have in here, but I haven't begun to add anything yet, so that's just a heads up on that. So as we open it up, the first thing you see is that little folder that we made together. Now I changed my mind when I saw this little sticker. It says it's the little things that make life beautiful, and I like that, so I put that on there instead of the bow. When you open it up, I've got that on my first elastic, and then I have in here the Taroko design card for my writing. So that's in there. And then I have another insert that I made, and I didn't do this one on camera, but it was super simple in some ways. In some ways, I definitely know that I'm going to have to practice. What I did is I took another piece of the Oh Dear scrapbooking paper and I made another paper insert. Now, I bought the cream colored Taroko, or I'm sorry, the cream colored Tomo River paper. And for this insert, I would have preferred that it was white, but since I didn't have white, I just used what I had. And I just took 5 pieces of the Tomo River paper and cut it to size. And so that gave me 10 individual sheets, or this is just a 20-page insert. So you could go much thicker, but for my purposes and what I wanted this is more for like Christmas lists, like gift lists, and this isn't my main one. This is the one that I'll have in my purse when I go shopping, and so that's why it doesn't need to have much stuff in it. And much room in it, but I'll take it out, and if there's some left after the end of the season, I'll just put it with my planner stuff and save it for next Christmas season. So again, this also used the compliments. This said celebration. This is actually not from the compliments, it's from the assortment, and it's kind of like a wood grain sticker. It's not really wood, but it makes it feel kind of like really super thin wood grain sticker. So there is that. This, like I said, is going to take some practice learning how to do this well, and as I get better someday I'll do one on camera, but this definitely is going to take a little bit of a learning curve. So then I have my 004 little plastic insert, and this is an actual Midori insert. It has a zipper pocket here, so like I can keep change, which will be nice because I am always losing change. Let's see, I have a little bit of cash. Nope, I don't even have any cash. I was going to throw a little bit of cash in there, and I don't have any. So I can just keep stuff like that right in there. Okay, and that's around this other insert that I showed you that I've had for a long time that fits in here just perfectly, and this is the one that I use frequently for like grocery lists and stuff. So there we have my setup for now. It will definitely change. I will probably add more stuff. I need to do a little calendar insert so that I at least have a monthly calendar in there. So I've got stuff that I can add to it, and then also, like I said, I want to use this kind of like a wallet for when I'm traveling so that my passport will fit in there too. So thanks so much for stopping by today, and remember, take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.